Welcome to the It's Too Late show. I'm your host, Kahlua Lua. We've got a great show for you tonight, so let's get started. You know him from one of the newest content groups on the scene, cedh. He's a caster for Eminence Gaming and current Eminence Gaming Chubby Bunny record holder. It's Adam, aka Papiphobia. Thanks for joining us, Adam.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kahlua.
So, how many marshmallows can you fit in your mouth?
Ooh, that's a good question. We could find out. I have a fresh pack of marshmallows in my kitchen. I would assume at least 6.
Since most people click off after a few minutes, let's start with the most important thing. Can you tell me about the event that you have coming up and how you're involved with it?
Yeah, so coming up at the time of this recording in a week, we have Silicon Dynasty, which is happening the weekend of January 13th, like through the 15th, which is going to be a huge 160-person in-person cedh tournament in San Jose, California. It's going to be a great event with tons of players, tons of people, dedicated just to the tournament, playing at the highest level of cedh that exists, the most competitive possible, and just having fun and creating this meta that we all love and enjoy.
What are they playing for? Are there some prizes on the line?
Yeah, so there's actually $5,000 in prizes, thanks to sponsors like the Epic Storm and Moxfield. So first place is going to end up with, I believe, like over $1,000. Then we have prize support going all the way down to top 16. So everybody's going to get paid out if you place in the event at all.
Are there still any tickets left, or is it sold out?
So right now it's sold out, but there is a wait list in case anybody drops before the event officially takes place. Yeah, if you go to their website, they have an email at the bottom of the website, and if you email them to get on the wait list for Silicon Dynasty, you can get your name in the hat, and as people begin to drop, you can sign. They will call names in the order that they've been contacted, and that's at contact@eminence.events.
If the tickets are all sold out, are people still able kind of show up and maybe get a pickup game, or is there room
absolutely.
for that?
Oh, yeah. We have a free play space. We have a whole room dedicated to free play. So already we're better than, Magic Fest or 30 or whatever that was, right? So we have a whole room dedicated to free play, a tournament hall, and you can come check out the tournament. There's vendors there, so you can sell cards, buy cards. We have a big vendor there that's only like looking to buy cards off of people to sell back to the community. So you can just come and hang out and vibe. I know that like Shivam Bhat from the CAG, he's coming to pay us a visit on Saturday just to check it out and see what cedh is all about.
Kind of on that same topic, how did you get involved with Eminence Gaming, and what kind of things do you do for them?
Yeah, so the way I got involved with Eminence is actually I saw Monarch initially. They posted an ad for they were looking to hire on new staff. And I thought I was good at talking, sometimes a little too good. And so I contacted them about becoming a caster because I felt like there was a gap in the casting community for cedh. Mm-hmm. And so I got accepted, got into casting through Monarch. And then I went to Punt City in Philly on my own whim, just wanted to go to an in-person event. And Punt City seemed awesome. And I thought it was a good opportunity for me to go and try out my skills as a player. So I flew out there all by myself. On my lonesome, no friends with me or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I actually ended up connecting with Mikey and Zane and Mike Bonney, who run Eminence. And after Punt City, I watched their cast and watched their streams. And I'm a big fans of Scoots and Ashani, who were their main casters when they first started. And I said, like, hey guys, if you're ever looking for more people to cast, I would love to be a part of your team and help you guys improve, right? And grow to be something bigger. And maybe, help you with my skills, and then you guys can help me in my goal of, helping grow the community and really bring cedh to the next level. So that's what I do for Eminence is I cast all their events. If they do online events, I cast those. If they do in-person events on the West Coast, I cast those. If they do East Coast events, I go there and give them a hand. Otherwise, I'm playing. and they do like Twitch streams weekly. So I host a night with my partner Shauna, and then Scoots and Ashani host a night as well. So we just, we are a part of their content team, and that's what we do. We make content for CDH focused on, the tournament meta.
You casted one of the Chaos tournaments. I think, is it 3 or 4? I'm not sure which one, but what was that like, having to cast all day long?
Yeah, so that was an experience, and that was a fun learning experience for sure. I think it was Chaos 4 is the one that we did, and it was because my YouTube channel cedh, we sponsored the whole event. So we donated like $1,000 in prizes, and basically our only condition was like, hey, we're going to give you all this prize support, and all we want to do is we want to host the stream. So if you let us like take over your Twitch for the day and host the stream, you can give out these prizes however you'd like. And so that's what we did. It was 100% free tournament. I think we had over 220 signups, and then 167 players or something like that showed up to the online event. And yeah, we casted for 12 hours, me and Kian, my partner who runs the cedh with me. And yeah, it was a long, excruciating day, and I had one monitor at the time, and I didn't use OBS very often. Yeah. So like every time I would tab out of screen, the screen would go black for the stream. But it was a fun time. Like we had an absolute blast, and the feedback I got from it was amazing. Like the community was so nice, and everybody was very impressed with how it went for being such like a shoddy deal, right? Yeah. So it was cool. But 12 hours is definitely a long time to cast, which is why I'm glad to be a part of a team now where there's 4 of us and we can cast from home, cast from the event, and it takes a lot of stress off of the people working the event, because some people don't know, but casting a CDH event is actually really hard and really long. Yeah.
You have a lot of air to fill. Speaking of cedh, how did your group start? And did you start off as like an EDH group, or was it strictly straight into CEDH?
Yeah, so cedh started, we're a local group, right? So everybody that's a part of our team, there's about 8 of us. We're all from the same local play group here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And basically how it started was I had fallen out of Magic, as players do, where you play and then you leave and then you come back and you play again. So I had been on like a hiatus for 2 years. I was looking to get back into the format, and so I went with all my EDH decks that I had, and I brought it to my local LGS, and I ended up running into a friend of mine from high school who was playing with his local group and his group of Magic friends, and he was the only person I recognized in the store, so I sat down and started playing with them, and those friends ended up being the same people that I play Magic with today, and that was a year and a half ago, but we've all stayed together and stayed as that little group. And so through that friend group, I met Kian, and I met Sam, and I met Spencer and Kevin and all the other people that make up my channel. And what had happened was, we would get into long, passionate discussions about CDH, because that's all we played. We didn't play casual. We didn't play, modern or pauper. We played a little bit of pauper, I guess, but we only played CDH. So we'd get into long-winded conversations about it. And one day we had a conversation like, I wonder if anybody else would care about what we have to say. We talk for hours and hours about the format. Maybe somebody cares. So one day I messaged Kian, and I made a YouTube channel, and I sent him a screenshot, and he sent me a screenshot back of a YouTube channel he made, and we had like the same idea at the same time. Yeah. And so we ended up deciding to do it together, and we came up with a name. We came up with cedh, because in our group, that's what we called it. Whenever you'd play Blue Farm or Rogsai and you'd Naz on turn 1 and still not win the game, like that was a cedh. And we just ran with it, and we've been talking about CDH for the last year, and slowly getting more and more popular, and more people seem to care about our shitty opinions.
Have you had people like recognize you as you go to the game store and be like, "Hey, you're part of that group"?
From our locals know us. We have like jerseys that we wear. So we have like big jerseys that we wear, that when we go to local tournaments, we rock the jerseys. And like one of us, like there's 8 of us, right? So like in a local tournament of like 40 people, the odds of one of us being in the final 4 is pretty common. And I'd say lately we've won almost all of our local events. So like we're pretty recognized locally. But we went to like Oktoberfest, me, Kevin, and Kian, and it was the first time like people recognized us from outside of our local area, where someone was like, "Hey, you're the cedh guys, right?" And it was like such a like heartwarming feel. Like I've never had that happen before.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Yeah.
I know you guys have some merch. If I wanted to buy some, where would I find that at?
Yeah, so like right now, we primarily have these playmats, and they're not available for sale except through our Patreon. Okay. So if you join our Patreon, I think it's like a $50 tier. We send you this playmat hand signed by all of us, and then for like $25, we give out foil ad nauses that are hand signed too. Nice. So you get your money's worth for what it is. And then we actually are working on like a merch store. We're actually getting a whole website done for our channel. Mm-hmm. Now that we have Patreon money and things, we can afford to hire people to do things like that. Yeah. So yeah, we have a whole merch line and stuff coming soon. But that's for cedh. But Eminence has plenty of merch on their website. You can go on their website and they have a link to their merch store there, where they've got super cool shirts. Like this is my favorite one, the skill issue shirt, mm-hmm. because we like to kind of carry ourselves as Eminence as the content group for tournament grinders, right? Like if you want to be a cedh tournament grinder, you pay attention to what Eminence puts out there. And so these types of shirts, skill issue and things like that, it's kind of terminology that you'd use, when you get to the higher levels of play where people aren't afraid to call each other bad and things like that.
Is there an 03 drop shirt?
There's not one yet, but we're getting to the point where there might have to be one. Yeah. 03 drop is kind of starting to transcend even me. So
when and how did that start with?
Yeah, so 03 drop is a meme that was started by Mikey and some of our friends. Mikey Hallahan from Eminence, where for a while I was really, really big into the deck Sacred Druid, which is Timna Thrasios using Sacred Guide as a win condition with Thassa's Oracle, right? And I was like really high on it. And all my friends play like Blue Farm and Grixis and Turbo Nause Shells, and they were not, right? They would meme on me all the time, tell me, this deck isn't that great. You should switch your tempos or put your focus somewhere else. And I was being really hard-headed and I wouldn't change. And I told them, I said, this deck is a Swiss killer. You just wait and see. And I was going to prove all of them wrong, right? Mm-hmm. And then the very next event after I said that, I 03 dropped. So ever since then, this meme has haunted me throughout my days. But I love it. Like I got a tough skin, so yeah. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me none. And it's pretty funny. Like whenever I'm casting a stream, and like as soon as the stream starts, the chat's just flooded with 03 drop. Like, wow, Adam, big fan. And it's honestly like really cool to see.
It's nice that you can kind of laugh along with it, and it's not like.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't play the deck anymore, so I learned my lesson, right?
What have you moved on to after that?
Yeah, I now play Najeela 5C Turbo Nause. Okay. So playing like a Turbo Nause shell with Najeela, which is just like an insane value piece out of the command zone.
Yeah. Your name, your cedh name, Papiphobia. How did you come up with that one?
Oh, that's this is like my favorite question. Yeah, so when I was a kid, I used to, play Xbox with my friends, and everybody's got a gamer tag, right?
Yep.
And my gamer tag was like any 13-year-old boy's gamer tag. It was like, like Pussy Eater 420 69 XX lowercase x, some dumb crap that kids put on their stuff. Yep. And when I got older, when I was like 16, I was like, this sucks. Like, I don't like this gamer tag anymore, and I don't identify with it, and it's no longer fun. So what I did was what I really admired was when I had friends that had gamer tags with no numbers and no like goofy symbols or letters, right? It was just like a name. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, that'd be so cool if you could like come up with a name that nobody else has, and you just have that gamer tag forever and no one can take it from you. Uh-huh. So I was like looking up words that I thought were cool. And I really liked like phobias, right? Like arachnophobia and like whatever the phobia is, where like because there's like that meme that would go around like when I was like 15, where like people have like holes in their hands, right? Like a million holes in their hands. It was like called it was some type of phobia where you're afraid of holes.
Yeah.
I don't know. So like I was like looking up like different phobias, and one I found was called Papiphobia, and it was fear of the Pope. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, it's like anti-establishment or something. I don't know. But I was like, Papaphobia doesn't sound cool. So I changed it to Papiphobia because then in games, I knew that dudes would have to call me Poppy when they were doing like call outs. Like, you know, like, oh, Poppy, sniper on the, on the left, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought that'd be funny. And so, yeah, I changed it to Papiphobia. And it stuck. No one else had that name. I own it on every social media platform, and I own it like on every like I guess a media platform in general, like Twitch and YouTube and everything else. And my idea worked too. My idea worked as well because everybody calls me Poppy in like game lobbies and stuff, and it's really awkward as they go like, hey Poppy, and it's like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. You didn't do what I do. I look around the room and then I pick out objects and then that becomes my username. How did you get into Magic and kind of gaming in general?
Yeah, that's a really fun question, actually. I got into Magic in 2015. The set that was out at the time was Shadows over Innistrad. And basically, me and all my friends, we were big like video game kids, right? Like all my friends had PCs. I didn't have a PC, so I would go to my friends' houses and I'd play on their PC. So like I'd play like CS:GO with my buddies while they would watch, and then I'd get off and they'd play CS:GO while I would watch, and like that's how we would hang out. Our parents would get upset because we weren't doing like any physical hobbies, right? We were just like playing video games. So one of my friends started getting into, at that time, was Arena out? Yeah, I think Arena just started. Like he got into Magic Arena, and that was back when like you would get an Arena code in like every Magic pack, and so like he got really into the Arena, and he's like, hey, we should try to play this game as friends, like for real. And so like we explained it to our parents, and this was like our excuse for like touching grass. It was like, we're gonna go play Magic at this game store. And so we went at this game store, and it was like Shadows over Innistrad. We all bought like starter decks because starter decks were still a thing, and we would like play against each other and kind of make up our own rules. And then kids would come and like help us learn to play like as we did this. And then eventually, at the time in 2015, we were all 15 with like no jobs. So like the best format for us to get into was when a friend introduced us to Commander, and it was like a friend from our local. His name was Adam. He was we called him Dad. He was like older, but not by much. He was like maybe 18 when we were 15, and he would like mentor us through Magic and like teach us the game. And he was he ran the EDH nights at our LGS, and so he would like let us borrow his decks, and he had like the big toolbox full of 100 decks or whatever, and he would hand them out to us and we'd all play. And I remember this like really distinctively because when we were first learning Magic, this was the first time I ever played against a cedh deck, and he was like, hey, do you guys want to see something cool? And we were like, yeah, what's so cool? And he's like, you want to see me win the game on turn 2? And we were like, no way, is that a thing? Like, no way. And so like he like mulliganed really aggressively, and like yeah, he won the game on turn 2. I don't even know if he did, honestly. He could have just lied to us, but we were impressed either way. Like we didn't know the rules well enough. But yeah, that's how we got into Magic, and like that's how we got into EDH. And so I remember I bought like 3 boxes of Shadows over Innistrad. I still remember when I cracked my Archangel Avacyn. I was like, this is awesome. This is in my friend's basement. We did drafts with Shadows over Innistrad. I have so many bulk cards from that set, dude. That was a fun set, though. And that was like a really good draft set. And then we did that. We played through Eldritch Moon. And then like we all kind of like grew out of Magic for a while. Went out and did our own things, but always still kept our cards and like still played the game. And then I had like something kind of like traumatic happen in my life, and I was kind of going through like a dark time, and I was seeing a therapist, and I was talking to him about ways to kind of free my mind and do things to gain new experiences, and this was last summer. And he's like, well, what about some hobbies? Like, do you have any old hobbies that you enjoyed or things that you think you'd want to get back into? And I was like, you know what? I have like a box full of 2 Commander decks and a bunch of Magic cards in my garage. Like, I'm going to go pull those out and like get myself out of my house and go to an LGS. And I went to an LGS, and it happened to be during Midnight Hunt. It was right when Midnight Hunt dropped. And that's when that story of me meeting a friend from high school and asking if I could play with them, that's how that started. And they introduced me to cedh. And I had like a Sliver Overlord deck, and they helped me power that up to get competitive. And then I bought Jessica Ishai after watching Cam and Dylan on Play to Win.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided, hey, I've been playing cedh for 4 months. Why don't I make content about it?
Yeah. That's how it goes.
So that's like the whole story though of like how I got into Magic. And Magic now is a huge part of my life because of that. It helped me get out of like a depression basically, and I've met a world of new friends because of it, and lifelong connections that I'll always have thanks to Magic. So I owe a lot to the game for sure, and I'm very happy to be where I am with it.
And also, I heard that you opened a game store. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm currently in the process of our opening date. We're hoping is February 3rd, so it'll be the first Friday of February. But yeah, we're opening up a game store in the local Milwaukee area. In South Milwaukee, it's a place called Factlandia. It's a brewery that's there, and we're opening up a game store called the Mana Vault. And we're super excited for that, kind of taking, cedh and what we've done from a content team and kind of bringing that to our local scene to give back and create a space for tournament grinders. So not only will we be playing cedh there, but we'll be holding modern events, legacy events, pauper events, as much competitive Magic as we can breed, because that's what we want to give back to our community, because we feel like the competitive scene has started to die off, and we know that there's a player base there for it. So yeah, luckily I've been given the opportunity and want to kind of give back a little bit to the Magic community.
That's really awesome. Have you always wanted to have your own store, or is it kind of like a dream, or is it more of a filling a need type of thing?
It's always been a dream of mine to open up a game store. You go to LGSs all the time, and you see the things that you're like not happy with sometimes, right? Like either how the player base behaves themselves, or sometimes how the owner can kind of act if they don't like show the same amount of passion for the game as the players do, and it can kind of they don't keep the product in stock or whatever. So you always see things that you're like, man, if I had a game store, I would change that, or I would do this better. Mm-hmm. And so that there's always been that's been a dream of mine. And then also this was a local store. It used to be a game store that existed there, and it closed recently, and the player base has just been in like shambles. Like they've wanted someone in the space. They have nowhere else to play. They just play at the bar now at the restaurant because the game store has been closed. So there's just Magic players like in the bar at all times. And so there's been a need for it too. And so luckily, like me and my partner who's opening with me, Sam, who's also a part of cedh, we have the ability to kind of take over that space, and we have the community behind us to fill it, right? Like we have the player base, we have enough people to make it where we can pay rent and buy enough product that we can keep it afloat. Mm-hmm. And so, that's kind of how it came to be. But it has always been a dream of mine to open up an LGS, and especially one that's more adult focused, right? It's in a bar, in a restaurant. They're kind of attached to each other. They share the same entrance. Yeah. So like a game store where you can drink and have fun with your friends, that seems like a good time.
I have a little game that I'd like to play with you. This game is called Did I Say That? So on your podcast, you play a game where you say the flavor text of a card, and then that person has to guess the card. So instead of doing that, I have quotes from you from your episodes of your podcast, and I'm going to say the quote, and then you have to tell me or try and guess what episode it is from, and maybe like what the context is if you even remember.
Okay. This will be good. Well, we only have like 23 episodes, so I should be able to figure it out.
Okay, number 1 quote: "Anytime Kian brings a guest on, they clap my cheeks. I'm so bad at this game." Do you remember what that is from?
I don't Anytime Keenan brings a guest on, they clap my cheeks. Well, context. I'll start with context.
Okay.
So the context for that is because, like, whenever we do, anytime brings. So this is from a flavor text. This is from a flavor text portion of an episode, I think, because I'm so bad at flavor text judge that I never win any. And if this had to be. There was an episode that we did where I guessed it, like first try. Like I guessed it right away, and Kian like wanted to do another word, and I was like, "Why do you want to do another word?" That never happens. Like anytime you bring someone on, they clap my cheeks, and I'm so bad at the game that I think I said that when I was so excited that I got it right, but I can't remember which episode that's from. But that's what I think, if I remember it correctly.
It is from your most recent episode with Eminence. You were with Mikey. I don't know the exact context, but I like your definition there. Was very good.
I'm pretty sure that's the one because Mikey was like, "No fucking way."
Next one. I don't even know green cards anymore, dude. Whatever that green fucking fat guy is that draws 3 cards.
That's from. Okay, I know exactly what episode that's from. So that's from when that was from our Oko recap when we did the Oktoberfest recap, and I was venting to Kevin and Kian because I lost round 1 to a Yeva deck. And, like we meme on Yeva all the time. Like Yeva isn't CDH, Yeva this, Yeva that. And so I lost that game because the Yeva player, and I still don't know the card's name, but it was some fat green guy. And when it enters the battlefield, it draws 3 cards, and they were just bouncing it back to their hand and like drawing their deck. And I'm like, this sucks. Like I was just so mad and so upset about it. And that was the context of that quote.
That is correct. That is correct. Okay, next one. What the fuck is this deck that just got approved to the Brewers Corner? This deck is shit.
I think that's every episode of the database reviews that we do.
Yeah.
I think we just did one today that we recorded, and it was the same thing. Like me and Kian are just reading the list. We're like, this is fucking garbage. This is shit, whatever. Yeah. And then there's one, and we're like, oh, this will make it. But yeah, I think we say that like every DDB reviewer episode.
That is correct. And I have one more. It says, or you said, Brian Koval is the Lindsay Lohan of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, so this is the episode we did with Brian Koval after he won Oktoberfest. This is the episode after our review. It's our Brian Koval episode where Brian Koval was talking about like getting recognized and being like kind of famous in the community a little bit, and was saying that like in the grand scheme of things, he's a nobody, right? Because only people from this niche, tiny little community knows him. Yet there's people like, Lindsay Lohan or Lady Gaga or these people who have millions and millions of fans, and they're getting recognized every day in the street, whereas Brian's getting recognized in the bathroom of Magic 30. And so as soon as he finished that sentence, I said, you heard it here first, folks. Brian Koval is the Lindsay Lohan of Magic the Gathering.
That is correct. That is the episode that it's from. Congratulations, you win. What you win, I'm not sure. We'll come up with something. Thank you, everyone, for joining us and watching. Thank you, Adam. Where can the people find you online or elsewhere?
Yeah, so you can find me online through my YouTube channel, Sadnaws. You can just go to youtube.com/Sadnaws. We're also on Twitch. We have a Discord if you want to come and chat with us or hang out with us in there. You can find me personally anywhere on the internet under the, at Papiphobia. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Anywhere you want to find me, you can find me there. In any Discord you're in, any CDH Discord, just at me. I'll probably respond. I'm pretty quick with that and addicted to social media. Other than that, you can find me anywhere that there's an Eminence event. I work all their West Coast events as the lead caster with my partner, Shauna. I'm at all their East Coast events playing and helping out on the staffing end. I run a weekly show on Fridays. Now will be Tuesdays with Eminence. Me and Shauna do interviews. We do gameplay episodes live on Twitch, usually to an audience of 40 or more people. So come check that out if you want to be a part of it and join our little community. And other than that, you'll see me most recently at Silicon Dynasty coming up the weekend of January 13th. And yeah, that's pretty much where you'll be able to find me.
Will that event be streamed onto Twitch so people can watch?
Yeah, Silicon Dynasty will be live on Twitch through Eminence's Twitch channel. It's going to be streamed the whole weekend. Me and Shauna are going to be handling the whole thing. We've got tons of exciting players that are going to be there. All your favorites, Ken Bauman, Ian, joking. There's even some word that there might be some pro players showing up, even players from the rules committee that will be playing in the tournament. So lots and lots of big names at Silicon Dynasty. So you don't want to miss that stream if you can't come out and make the event.
Excellent. I will be watching, so I'll be commenting in the comments. 03 drop, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, we need that. We need more of that.
Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye bye.